I don't understand this at all, Peter. Old music is so much better than what we have these days. Yeah, I love the rat-a-tat-tat on those drums. People only look at the good songs. The plain thing is that they only looked at the injuries on surviving planes to figure out which bits to reinforce, but they should have been looking where there were no injuries because those are the ones that didn't make it back. These copper ingots, the devil said, are of subpar quality. You accepted them as payment, the merchant said. The deal is done. Very well, I will uphold my end of the bargain, the devil said. Your name will live forever. That is all I ask, said Eanazer? One of the oldest pieces of writing we have is a complaint about crappy copper that a merchant named Eanazer has been selling. So he made a deal with the devil for eternal fame, but the fame is as a shitty salesman. Peter, how would 45 plus 45 equal 135? When you ask him what 45 plus 45 is, and he says 90 instead of 135. I think it's a gym reference. You start with 45 pounds on the bar, then add 45 pounds of weight to each side of the bar. You're left with 135. Peter, please. Unnecessary ribs. These two. Just remove them. You don't need them. This one gave me a good laugh, so I'm happy to explain this one. Marilyn Manson had a rumor circulated that he got ribs removed to suck his own. The man giving the presentation looks like Marilyn Manson, mostly in the makeup. So the joke is that it looks like Marilyn Manson is giving a presentation about which ribs are not needed because he would know which ribs aren't needed because he got them removed to suck his own. For added clarification to anyone curious, it is just a rumor and not actually true. Peter, help me understand. Our primal instinct makes us explore the unknown worlds. Step 2, realize the universe doesn't want us to leave our home world. Step 3, create ways to outcome the harsh and cold nature of the universe. Bro tip, we still cannot disobey the unbreakable law of physics. Step 4, receive a message from another civilization. We are not alone anymore. Fun fact, highly advanced alien civilizations are likely to be peaceful. Likely. This is a reference to All Tomorrows, a book written by C.M. Kozman. In the book, humans figure out how to manipulate DNA to create new species. They create the Star People and transport their DNA to other planets throughout the galaxy. Another alien species invaded the planet and transformed them into whatever they wanted, and they did so very sadistically. Some of the creatures are horrifying, but can work. All suffered, but some way worse than others. What's the connection, Peter? Let me go, please, I'll do anything. But he could die. Please, I'll do anything. I never made that connection before. Because Beast was going to kill Gaston, but then Gaston said, stop, I'll do anything, and Beast is like, oh shit, because that's exactly what Belle said to him when he was gonna imprison her dad. So he let Gaston live. Then Gaston stabbed him in the back. Stab in the back. Innuendo for butt stuff. How do I find Area 51? Move. The left? Wrong area. To the left? But I'll take a burger? AI generated comic randomly placing words and images together based on whatever the original prompt was. AI isn't replacing us true memers anytime soon. Peter, explain. I'm black, I don't understand. I'll never vote for you. Then, I'm afraid you ain't black, Jack. Joe Biden, while campaigning to win the 2020 election, made the controversial statement, if you are having trouble figuring out whether you're for me or for Trump, then you ain't black. Essentially, this comic portrays that statement by having him literally turn a black woman white for refusing to vote for him. I get the eating people joke, but is this referencing something? Who are they? Your Honor, if you are what you eat, then my clients are innocent men. The Coffin of Andy and Laylee is a horror game where a sister manipulates his brother into committing murder, cannibalism, and incest. Grandmother just sent this to me. What am I missing, PETA? I'd put those clocks and watches back now if I were you. It's a time change joke. Only works one day a year. Alright, we have gender bent Anakin and Obi-Wan. Anakin turns Obi-Wan's lightsaber off. Very funny, Anakin, but it's actually time to practice. Ha 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 ha. Huh? They lift their hand, twist it. Ah! Hello, Flamin' Gator here. Testicular torsion spell should be legal. Hashtag hot take. Happy to be of service, mate. They're women though, right? I'm in the 55%. 55% of people will be confused by this picture. It's a Pokemon named Zubat that's using a move called Confuse Ray. It makes you confused. I don't know why it's 55% though. It has 55% accuracy. PETA, what do these letters mean? It's always WYD, never DYWMTCOAEYPTYCOMF. Peter here, I'm not sure. On an unrelated note, do you want me to come over and eat your p till you on my face? Looks female enough. Smash! I don't understand this one. Do not ask a trans girl what game she plays. She's been typing for an hour now. It's a stereotype amidst the trans community that trans girls will obsessively and unobstructedly talk about video games, such as Celeste or Fallout New Vegas for absurd amount of time. This is being shown here. Of course, I'm fairly certain most groups have a similar stereotype about them. Didn't know I was trans. What the f***? Lol. Garfield, His 9 Lives. Movie adaptation. Garfield, His 9 Lives. Original book. I see some horrifying looking Garfields on there. Hey, Megs Beanie here. The comic book Garfield His 9 Lives is divided into 9 different segments that show the various lives Garfield had before the one we usually see in the comics, in line with the common myth that all cats have 9 lives. Not all of those segments made it into the movie adaptation. The most notable one was the segment Primal Self, which is probably what the meme is about. It shows Garfield in another life where he is named Tigger and lives with an old lady. He meets an evil force of some kind that makes him become feral and show violent behavior, and the segment ends with him planning to kill his owner, strongly suggesting that he ended up doing it. It even shows Garfield in his current life, terrified and remorseful for the things he did back then. What the f***? Is that gonna be in the animated Chris Pratt movie? PETA, what does this mean? When people say English is easy, you got a soldier, an air filter, painting wood, a wax stamp, some guy, and a seal. The word seal meaning a ton of different things. Few obvious ones and pick Navy SEAL, the animal seal. Oh, and an envelope seal. Edit, I'm glad you all feel like you have a good grasp on the language, but trying to explain the joke to me days later in a reply achieves nothing. Joint seal for car, wood seal, and this dude is seal between seal and seal? Yeah, he's a singer. His biggest hit is Kiss from a Rose. Now that is a banger. This is incomprehensible. The myth of consensual home ownership. I consent to selling my house. I consent to buying your house. I don't. Isn't there somebody you forgot to ask? Conservative pundit Ben Shapiro, guy on the left, famously said that facing rising sea levels caused by climate change, people living on the coast should sell their houses and move. Progressive YouTuber H Bomber Guy famously dunked on Shapiro, shouting, "Sell the houses to who, Ben? F***ing Aquaman?" Aquaman pictured in center. Greta Thunberg disagrees with the idea of selling your coastal house and thinks we should instead stop climate change so you don't need to do that. When the opposing schools debate team consists of an anthropomorphic dragon, wolf, and fox all crossing their arms. YouTube commentary channel persona characters are sometimes anthropomorphic animals, and they cross their arms a lot when making points. Also, they combine the worst aspects of a toddler, overbearing smugness and not knowing anything. I think you mean teenagers. Both, really. Help me, PETA. Soviet politicians during political crisis. It can't be that bad, can it? Now wait just a minute. Swan Lake will apparently air on Russian TV during major political events, like a political coup or the death of a leader. It played non-stop on the TV during the 1991 Soviet coup d'etat attempt, as to not tell people about the current events in the news, I reckon. When you think you got your period, but it's just this. Representing the guys right now. We have no idea what the fuck that is and don't want to know. Hi, Peterina here. Vaginal discharge sometimes is weirdly thick right before ovulation. People sometimes describe it looks like raw egg whites, and it clumps in a way blood does when you menstruate. So when you have no way to check, it feels like a start of a period. A J.K. Rowling comic. I'm sorry I messed up your coffee order, J.K. Rowling. Aw, it happens. What? Huh? The coffee shop pedo? Robert Galbraith is a pseudonym that J.K. Rowling used to write the Cormoran Strike series. Is that a book series where she portrayed a barista as a pedophile or something? Because if so, we've cracked it. I don't know if that happened specifically, but Rowling has been known to reference IRL drama in her works, so the joke may be about that. This has 60,000 likes, and I have no idea what's funny. One time in high school, these two guys were arguing over who could freestyle better, so everyone met up in the bathroom after lunch to hear them go verse for verse. The guy who went first opened up with 3 L's to the face, call that living like Larry. It ended immediately. The joke is that this bar is so weak that they immediately stopped the contest. Disney Pixar's Maya? What? Peter, that's not a meme. That's just people have been using Bing's new AI to make absolutely posters for Pixar movies. This one is based off former star Mia Khalifa, but there's plenty of others. On a first date, don't know if I should be worried or not. Found the original. I don't know if it relates to the edited post. Man, what is up with people f***ing up posts and making people not get them? Yeah, I could not see on that second image in the first one. Alright, I don't get this one. Math test. Bob has 36 candy bars. He eats 29. What does he have now? I know this one. Diabetes. I don't know who the guy is, but I assume he's somehow known for the phrase diabetes. I mean, you're wrong, but PETA, what does this mean? 2016, stabbed in the heart. 2017, healing. Still a little sad. 2018, still healing. Looks a little depressed still. 2019, no more heart, and now she has bat wings and red eyes. Finally, without the There's a meme going about which has this exact comic, but the fourth frame is just a picture of a tube of toothpaste shitting. The meme has gone around with that image with a following comment asking for this image without the like this. Girlfriend sent me this. What the f does it mean? Wasn't that clock at 11:55 p.m. 20 minutes ago? Me, don't think about it too much. A hybrid joke of No Nut November and the weird succubus girl everyone has a kink for. I was thinking it was premature ejaculation joke. Forgot about No Nut November. I was too busy nutting to remember No Nut November. Peter, where's the mother? I'd give anything to speak to my dead parents. Dad, it's really you! Hello, son. Well, I'll put your mother on. In death, as in life, father and son have nothing to say to each other. But if the relationship is good, they understand each other completely, as shown here. Not that I'd know, mind. My connection with my own dad is strained at best. Need context because the comments are claiming this is really funny. Charlie D'Amelio picked up a shift as a Walmart cashier for a video. Where's the baby when you need him, man? The baby shot and killed someone in a Walmart in 2018. I guess the joke is wishing a similar fate to her. Oh, holy f***, missing the joke. Californians be like, look at me, I'm the Texan now. People from California are moving to Texas in record numbers. Our population has also reached record numbers. What's the fun fact? 1 out of every 8 Americans is a Californian. Don't forget the they hate us cause they ain't us angle. Everyone's got an opinion on number 1 and it isn't even remotely a contest. But Texans and Californians can agree on one thing. At least we ain't Mississippi. I'm not getting it? This guy cut me off on the freeway today. I'm not even mad. It's an edited version of the image. In the original, the car's license plate reads, "Excuse me," which sounds like "excuse me." Gotta love how the edited version ruins the joke. Help me, Peter, I don't get the joke. Well, we'll never want for food, Doris. This rock is absolutely encrusted with oysters, and mussels all the way to the top. It being encrusted all the way to the top implies the water will rise all the way there at high tide, drowning them. I agree. You could also hear it as, we'll never want for food, at least, ignoring that they'll have no safe water to drink, and their only food source is very salty. What did Kevin's dad do to be able to afford a house like this and 9 first-class tickets to Paris? Oh, right. The actor who played the dad from Home Alone also played the dirty cop on The Sopranos. The top pick is talking about Home Alone, and the bottom pick is about his role in The Sopranos. What did his character in The Sopranos do? He was a dirty cop. He helped Tony get away with crimes and whatnot, gave him information too that only law enforcement would know. Of course, he did this all for a price from Tony. Who is Jonah Hill? What did he do? How Jonah Hill expected his girl to dress surfing. Jonah Hill is an actor. He starred in 21 and 22 Jump Street and The Wolf of Wall Street. He allegedly emotionally abused his ex-girlfriend Sarah Brady, including being very controlling about not wanting her to wear a bikini while surfing. From what I've seen, it was not that he didn't want her to wear a bikini while surfing, it's that he didn't want her to post videos of her surfing while in a bikini. But like, what else do you wear, you know? PETA, can you explain this joke? Animals running in circles is so cool. Deers, ants. Reindeers run in circles as a defense mechanism to protect the female deer and the young at the center. Most of them make it out alive, so they're chill. Ants, however, walk in circles because they're stuck in an infinite loop of chemical scent trails. Their instincts tell them to follow the trail let out by another ant, but that ant may be following the trail let out by the first ant, leading to an infinite spiral of starvation and death. Peter, what did this guy do? If the hardcore band's guitarist looks like this, you're about to die in that pit. As the punk and hardcore scenes have evolved over the decades, so has the aesthetic style of the people within the scene. Instead of provocative and aggressive styles, members especially of younger post-hardcore bands look rather unassuming and normal, to a point where you would classify them as something like nerds and geeks instead of musicians of harder guitar genres. And over time, a meme evolved where people claim that the more normal and nerdy the musician looks, the more brutal the music is they play. So the meme basically says that because this dude looks like a lovely and nice accountant, his band plays the most violent hardcore punk you can imagine, and the mosh pits at their concerts are so brutal that there is a very good chance of audience members just not surviving the experience. PETA, am I stupid? American cops when they hear there's a girl 500 miles away playing with her pet goat. Shame. So a while ago, there was a county fair where the winning goat got put up for auction. The girl found out that meant her beloved pet would be slaughtered, she got upset, and the guy who paid the money for the goat agreed to return it to her and let the country fair keep the money. The country fair decided that this would not do, called the sheriff's department to kill the f***ing goat. The deputies literally drove 500 miles to kill a pet goat in front of a kid, to teach her a lesson. Literally, precisely that. That was their verbal reason. And this is a meme about it. Saw this on r/clever comebacks, but I don't get it. Please help me, PETA. And we just hit another all-time high in Twitter usage. Lol. Rome has never been this brightly lit at night. Nero. Nero was a Roman emperor that allegedly ordered to set Rome on fire. Reasons are various. From quest for inspiration, he was a mediocre artist, to cleaning some space for construction. The man was quite deranged. The joke is that Elon is owner of Twitter, and due to his poor management management, many people say that the platform is being destroyed, and he's claiming that contrary to critics, Twitter has never been better, the same way Nero is claiming due to destruction he caused Rome was never more prosperous and populous, since well-lit cities were a sign of prosperity of their people. How is this supposed to make sense? Repair Guy sent me this. What does it mean? He has thermal paste on his hand as he was probably repasting the GPU to keep it cool. The GPU is an Evangelion edition. In the third Neon Genesis Evangelion movie, there's an infamous scene where the main character Shinji **s off over Asuka while she is in the hospital unconscious. I didn't know this. The scene cuts to his hand in the same position as this post with semen on his hand. The joke is that it's remaking the scene but with thermal paste instead of semen. Makes sense. Also, what the f***? Peter, I don't understand what this means. Hello, ma'am. I know you have a perfect driving record, but we're here to confiscate your car because a drunk driver that you don't even know killed 10 people on the interstate. It's about gun control. The first premise is that the government wants to take your guns away because other people use them for killing sprees. The second premise is that it would be silly to confiscate someone's car because someone else went on a rampage with one. Ergo, gun control is silly. I was thinking it was about that rule where if you're present during an accident, you're automatically 10% responsible. I don't get it. As a musician, this is the highest compliment you can receive from another musician. It has nothing to do with being mean or jealousy. It's actually a stank face, especially common in funk, jazz, blues, soul, where players often take turns improvising solos. When you hear someone play a sick, dirty line, you can't help but make such a face. So the stank face is like, oh, you put some stank on that. Yeah, kinda like this beat is unfathomable and outrageous, but in a good way. PETA, please help. Pedestrians, I have to be careful not to get hit by a car. Drivers, I have to be careful not to hit anyone with my car. Cyclists, the Japanese during World War II had suicide bombers, and cyclists have a stereotype of running into cars. The Japanese also used cyclist divisions in ground warfare. I don't know if this is just straightforward or I'm missing something. Assassins, can I interest you in a great new service? For just $40 a week, we will hire assassins to slowly poison you. You will feel worse and worse until you die. Our guys are good. They killed 7 million people last year. God no, why would anyone want that? Just give me a pack of camels. PETA here. This comic is being ironic about cigarette smokers with how they know the health risks of smoking, but are okay with it and continue to do so. Who is Justin Roiland and what happened? Justin Roiland after his cellmate tells him to do the Morty voice for the 100th time. Hi Mr. Jellybean, I'm Morty. I'm on an adventure with my grandpa, Morty. Kinda late on the whole meme, but a bit ago he got accused and charged with domestic violence, although the charges were dropped. Still dropped from the show though. PETA, what this mean? Garfield normally. I hate Mondays. John, where's my lasagna? I'm gonna kick Odie off a table. Garfield from October 23rd to October 28, 1989. A. Sans In. In short, it's a comic about dealing with the human fear of being alone, portrayed by Garfield being on his house without John, Odie, or it being occupied. At the end, everything turns normal again. There are like 6, that's a big number, theories about Garfield being dead, in purgatory, and more. Sans out. John? Odie? Anybody home? I'm alone. You have no idea how alone you are, Garfield. What did Margaret Thatcher do? I am at a gender-neutral bathroom. Lots of people didn't like Thatcher, so folks of all genders have expressed a desire to urinate on her grave, which is pictured here. The person is Tom Scott, a successful YouTube personality who sometimes opens his videos by simply stating his situation or location. It's a shame that didn't die 87 years ago. PETA, why do lobsters not like crucifixes? Smart, sexy female looking for strong lobster-headed lycanthrope for love and monster truck rallies. And he's on a date, sees the necklace, and leaves. The lobster is wearing the little hat Jewish people wear, so he found the perfect girl, but they are different religions. I guess that's the only joke other than just being ridiculous, lol. Yeah, I think it's that he met so many of the criteria, lobster head, werewolf body, fellow monster truck enthusiast, but can't get past the difference of religion to be together. That makes sense. Peter, I'm genuinely confused. What is the joke here, if any? I'm so glad I'm not locked away from the world as a homemaking slave to some husband. Deborah, your 15-minute break is over. The joke is that the woman is glad that she is not a slave to a husband, however, this is in contrast to her job where she is basically a slave. PETA, what does this mean? Sitting blindfolded. Woman in lab coat feeds me a Twix. Left. She marks her notes. 329 consecutive correct guesses. Peter Gargoyle here. Twix is doing a marketing campaign where they pretend that they're two brands viciously opposed to each other, right Twix and left Twix. Even though they're exactly the same, it's just a gimmick that has no impact on the chocolate. The meme supposes that the captured man is able to tell the difference even when none such difference exists, and thus has been captured as some sort of oddity. Peter out. They are actually different, by the way. How so? It's actually easy to tell when blindfolded because the left Twix doesn't taste right. What is the joke here? One is certain death. The other grants membership to the order. Choose wisely. Mycology Club meetup today at the public library. All mushrooms are edible, some only once. It's a common phase in mycology that illustrates the importance of knowing which are poisonous before consuming them. Fun fact, the red-haired lady in the bottom panel hid her robe and seems to be less than forthcoming about her involvement. You can see her ring in both panels on her right hand, along with the robe stuffed in the trash. Who are top left and bottom right, and why should they be trusted? Why I never trust an MF who drinks milk. I love how milk has become the universal symbol of true evil in psychopathy in film because it's both valid and correct. Wait a minute, Luke drank milk in Star Wars. Top left, Succubus from Get Out, so you would put a period there. Top right, Colonel Hans Landa of the SS from Inglourious Bastards. Bottom left, Anton Sugar from No Country for Old Men. Bottom right, Alex from A Clockwork Orange. The milk is just meant to contrast the characters because it is seen as a normal and innocent act associated with children. Where's Homelander? He doesn't just drink the milk. He deserves a whole other meme unto himself. PETA, why is she sick? My son just texted me this. I'm going to be sick. What time and place was I born? Stay away from that girl. There's a running joke or stereotype about chicks that are into astrology being way into astrology, seeing everything you do as being caused by your astrological sign, then making constant annoying comments about how they can definitely see you're a insert astrological sign here. Based on other comments, some people here seem weirdly defensive about this. Just want to say, I don't know about astrology. Never met anyone that's into it. I've just seen those memes. Ugh, sounds like something a scorpion would say. I'm an asparagus myself. No one in the replies could say why it's funny. OP doesn't have a sense of humor, I guess. My dad posted this. West Coast sailors, East Coast sailors. Lois's dad's dry cleaner here. Might be high on perk right now, but this appears to be referring to the difference in ease of navigation by sail between the Atlantic, East Coast, and Pacific, West Coast oceans. Specifically, if one is only used to the Pacific, it is a shock to see how gray, cold, stormy, and forbidding the Atlantic can be. Conversely, an Atlantic sailor will be amused at how warm and calm and sunny the Pacific can seem in comparison. According to Moby Dick, this is extremely accurate. You said when you're on deployment and your wife spends $50 at CVS at 8:21 a.m. The morning after pill is $50. 8 a.m. means she was hooching around. PETA, what does SpongeBob have to do with Five Guys? Five Guys, the burger chain founded in 1986, actually sounds real good right now. God, it does. The screenshot is from the episode of SpongeBob titled The Camping Episode, where they ward off sea bears using an anti-sea bear circle, a simple circle drawn in the sand around them. This response is comparing the clarification describing Five Guys as the burger chain founded in 1986 to the anti-sea bear circle, except instead of protecting against the sea bears, it protects against people making sexual jokes by purposefully misinterpreting the statement Five Guys sounds good right now. Ah, that makes sense. Was wondering what the magic circle had to do with Five Guys. Forgot the sex joke. My mom brought home Five Guys last night and she wouldn't even share. What? Her. I really like men that think ahead. Me. I already drank a liter of pineapple juice. Her. What? Me. What? He's thinking ahead. He drank pineapple juice so when he receives oral, she doesn't have that nasty tasting stuff. It is proven to change the taste.
Help, why is Domino's busy, Peter? The Pentagon Domino's is busier than usual. This is not a drill. The FBI agent assigned with monitoring Peter here back in the 1990s, an easy way to predict if a major American event was about to happen was to see if the amount of pizzas being delivered to government buildings, e.g. the Pentagon, had spiked. The method was able to predict events such as Operation Desert Storm and the Monica Lewinsky story. Basically, the meme is saying that another major... Oh no, bro! No, we can't have another one! Huh? Why do I hear boss music? Ad blockers and fireworks. Web environment integrity. Hey, Peter Scope, Teo Roto here. Google is proposing a new standard to introduce a method for browsers to verify the integrity of sites they're browsing by requesting verification from ad testers. This would severely limit the consumability of the web browsing experience, such as smaller privacy-focused browsers and ad blockers. Doesn't that just go against the whole point of the internet to begin with? Yes, but big corporate wants more money so we can get forced to watch more ads. Yep, because almost $3 billion in revenue last year was enough for them. Well, it's very expensive to run Google, bro. I bet it's at least like $50 million. 30 seconds, that's all you could last? Was 30 seconds? It's the gum. It doesn't even last 30 seconds, I called it. The zebra is from the package of fruit stripe gum, which notoriously loses its flavor quickly. Best 30 seconds of my life, though. Eat the whole pack and a go, bada bing, bada boom. Peter, why do they say no? I'm confused. Have you met my son, Sebastian? No, I haven't. The red woman is Robin, a character in the game Stardew Valley who runs the carpenter shop. Often when you greet her, she'll try to reintroduce you to her son, Sebastian, the black-haired boy who lives with her and is a romanceable character. The dialogue option can sometimes happen even if you've already married Sebastian and had multiple children with him, which the comic pokes fun at. Peter, help! God created man. I made them eat. Richard, what the hell is that thing? Gatling gun! The ghost of Peter's hyper-patriotic great-uncle here. There was a popular term that Lincoln may have freed all the slaves, but Samuel Cope made them equal because Samuel Cope invented the six-shooter that a small man can use against a big man. The below picture is of a Gatling, and his Gatling gun that was the first automatic firearm through by legal codes is technically not an automatic. It was also supposed to be an invention to end all wars. Nope, we just got better. Riddle me this. Penny has 5 children. The first is named January, second is February, her third is called March, fourth is April. What is the fifth? The fifth child name is what? Note the period instead of a question mark. I don't know, Peter. I hate to be picky, but I'd love to take care of Pokemon that are level 5 or under. People who know, people who don't. Isn't that an NPC a widow that feel lonely and wants a Poké on to make him company, and after some time the NPC passed away, leaving a letter thanking the player for the Pokemon, giving the Pokemon back leveled up with, oh my god! Rhythm game player. How are you today? Someone. Good. Rhythm game player. Usually in rhythm games there are scores for each note. In the one I play there are perfect, great, good, bad, and miss. Good ruins your note streak, at least in the game I play, and it's just short of great, which is annoying. In most games, good doesn't break your streak. Instead, it's one away from perfect. The joke is more talking about people who try to hit the perfect of all songs. Peter, I need your help. Mammals, whether mice or whales, each get about 1.5 billion heartbeats per lifetime. When a heart races, it consumes just a little bit more of your beats. That's why when I look in your eyes, I know you're the one for me. I know it's with you. I'll have so many wonderful years. Hey. The man states that humans have 1.5 billion heartbeats and that when the heart races, you lose them faster. He then says that for the reason he knows he will love a long life, implying that his heart doesn't not race around her. She only realized the true meaning of his line 30 years later. I thought it was because he loves her, but in the panel she is alone because his heart beat faster than hers. So he was in love, but she wasn't. Hey, there we go. You guys need to work on your English. It's very hard to read when it's like that. Peter, please. Guys, be like, I can fix her. That's Kim Yo-jong, sister of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. She's considered even more ruthless and devious than her brother and is poised to take over the country if anything ever happens to him. But she's hot, so men will accept her flaws and try to get away with... Yeah, I guess. Don't do it, fam. Look at this. Hard to believe that was almost 20 years ago. That's Seth, a Ugandan warlord who posts videos to YouTube reviewing games like Might and Magic or speedruns of Graphic Grants. Peter, I don't get it. Teen left with broken nose and fractured jaw for refusing to answer, are you a boy or girl? What is the Professor Oak joke? Cool, Chris here. Professor Oak asks if you are a boy or girl at the beginning of the Pokemon games and you're prompted to input your name in order to start your journey. The gag here is that the teen refused to answer and got his crap rocked. Peter, why is this beautiful? Why would it not be normal? This is beautiful. This is normal. The OB thinks this is a beautiful image of people from different cultures bonding over the shared adoration of a cute child. The person replying thinks that's silly because it's just normal for people to think that a baby is cute and you need to bring race or culture into it. I think babies are ugly. What does that mean? Normal. Babies are ugly, disgusting, no thank you. Crocodile nursery, please explain. Get out of here, rascal, get. Heaven knows how he keeps getting in here. Betty, you better count him. This is a panel from The Far Side, a legendary comic that often uses silly or absurdist humor. The humor is that the crocodile somehow entered the nursery multiple times and eating at least some babies since one of the nurses casually suggesting they have to count. To add to this, crocodiles will carry their babies in their mouths, and if I recall correctly, will sometimes adopt babies of other species. Also, if you look closely, you can see what looks like an arm or fingers poking out of the croc's mouth. I think that could be a tooth. No other teeth are showing. I'm just saying, bro. Imagine the trouble she has to try and introduce her as Gemma Pal. I don't get it. Peter's French cousin here, je m'appelle, is French for my name is. Introducing herself, she would say, bonjour, je m'appelle, which would sound like, hello, my name is my name. Slim Shady, chicka, what? Me in science class, when my friend goes to wash his hands, he just spilled ithium on his... No! Peter's left testicle here. Ithium metal goes boom, boom in water. Also worth noting, in this scene, Daffy is screaming, turn off the water. All right then, I'm glad for that. Peter, why do transgender people hate swimming? Yeah, no, just hate swimming. Swimming often involves removing clothing or changing into more revealing swimsuits, which can be dysphoric for some people. At most, swimming attire is quite gendered. Also, if you're trans woman in the closet, it's likely you've shaved your legs, but you don't want to reveal that to your friends and family. And in trans men cases, you are either disappointed for being unable to have a swimsuit like the other boys because boobs, or just because swimsuit reveal the curves too much because boobs too, but add bottom pants with it. Hey man, I shave my legs and I'm not trans. I'm very proud of it. I don't know what I am exactly in life, but dude, shave your legs and be happy. Who cares what people think about it? Peter, what do the popo have to do with the choo-choo? Cute. Oh, I'll explain. She slept with everyone and they ran a train on her. The cop in the picture had a train ran on her, meaning she fricked her colleagues. Apparently it was trains, plural. Do they at least run on time? No, they don't. Babe, wait. Listen, I don't have a nest. I can hardly feed myself. I am not interested. A spin. Oh my god. Spinning is a mating dance. They do it when you give them bricks for some reason. They love bricks, buddy. Peter, why is Ash purple? Pokemon be like, hi, my name is Missy. I'm 11. What a coincidence. I'm 11 too. Hi, my name is Sorin. I'm 11. What a coincidence. I'm 11 too. I think it is to signify that Ash shouldn't be saying that since he is chronologically older than the new character he hangs out with, or that he is under a spell that prevents him from aging. I don't want to touch either one of those, but yeah, sure, magic spell. Help, please! A pool of oily sludge blocks past. A what? Whatever, I'll just walk around it. A 1. Also starring. No, not starring. The character Denise Crowley played was killed by what can be described as a pool of oily sludge, and here it puts the context in a D game where she tried to walk around it, but rolled a 1, which results in a critical failure. Denise Crosby famously left TNG to pursue a movie career that went nowhere, and she was killed off by a giant black sludge pile. Well, in all fairness, she was treated horribly before she left. No, well, I'm glad she got out of there, but I'm not sure the movie career went very well. Hey, Peter, not trying to offend anyone, but why are the bird and the cow trans? My favorite trope is when someone makes an anthro-animal, but without thinking, gives them dimorphous features that are the opposite of their gender, accidentally making them trans-coded. Well, it's because Otis is a male, and he has an udder, so, good for him. And I believe Margaret, only the red ones are males? Boy cow has girl udder, girl bird has bright red coloring like boy bird. Yep, many bird species have brighter colored males and brown camouflage feelings evolve so the male can catch predators' attention and lead them away from the nest. Edit, made this comment going to bed, woke up to 1,000 upvotes, 20 comments saying I'm wrong or a liar. I read this fact on a textbook over a decade ago and never ran into anything that challenged the fact. Sorry for being misunderstood. Well, I'm pretty sure it's not that evolutionary, but I do know a lot of the male birds are prettier. Peter, if this is a dirty joke, what do you do for work? It's complicated. So I just said it's complicated and changed the subject. What a complicated about it. Nurse, what's the status on those pizzas? Coming right up, boss. It's not a dirty joke. The joke is that his job is complicated and hard to explain the circumstances of why he's in that position. What's so difficult to explain? I work as a rat surgeon at the local rat pizzeria. Assistant to the rat surgeon, sir. Bowl of water and rocks? I don't get it. Why do you have to put that out? A piece of rose quartz shaped like Peter Griffin here. This is referring to a practice of making mood water and other such Western bastardizations of traditional paganism, wherein a superstition with low... So she's a crystal girl, okay. Saw this in a group chat and I don't know anything about Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift fans in doggy. Hey everyone, Peter's tour manager here. It's a common joke that Taylor Swifters are mostly comprised of inexperienced white girls that don't perform well at all. Hope you can read through the quotes. I'm not touching this one, bro. I'm not a Harry Potter fan, so I don't get the joke. Left-wing literature, right-wing literature. Leftists originally loved the books because they have a few sly insults towards righties. Righties originally hated the books because they are more predispositioned to be religious and hardcore zealots, hate magic and fantasy, and see it as the devil's influence. J.K. Rowling has made statements, funds, laws, and such that have changed this, most of which are to deal with the LGBTQ, mainly the T part, so the righties began ignoring the magic and sly insults, while the lefties threw out her completely. She is now known as a TERF by the leftists, trans, exclusionary, radical feminist. This term means you are against trans people. You know, remember when Harry Potter was just Harry Potter and we didn't have to deal with a psychopath online? Yeah, that was great. So, I don't get this, Peter. Yeah, I don't really get it. Peter here, the joke is sex. Thanks, Peter. I still don't get it. Maybe. There are two variations. One was how in traditional Chinese, crab usually signifies fertility, and it's clear that the parents are trying for another baby, hence why the man is eating crab rice. Or the more similar version, the wife wants sex, but she's too intense to handle in bed, so the husband has to gain a lot of weight in order to deal with her, and even then, he only eventually converts when she starts to get really impatient. Help me, Peter! You're my only hope! If you can understand this, I'm so sorry. Tumblr sexy men? These characters are all Tumblr sexy men. That is, they're not conventionally attractive, but a moderately sized part of Tumblr is super obsessed with them. So basically, if you know this, then that means you use Tumblr a lot. That's why the meme is saying, I think I only knew Sans and Loki. The person behind Sans is Onceler, but that's all I've got. 2 down is the 10th Doctor. The one is from an anime. I'm just going to tell you that. And, I don't know what the last one is. A little blurry. But also, I know Castiel from, Supernatural to be here, because Tumblr loves Castiel, and so do I. God, Misha, you're so hot. Peter, you're my only hope. If the Star Wars movies were a horse. The first Star Wars trilogy concluded the story. Afterwards came the prequel trilogy, which showed the beginning of the story. The Episode 7 movie was a continuation fairly similar to the previous 2 trilogies, thus represented as a part of the Brown Horse. However, following that, Episode 8 was very different from the style of the previous movies in various ways. Represented as a zebra, different appearance than a horse. Finally, Episode 9 was completely different and made virtually no sense tonally or narratively, represented as an off-color horse that doesn't exist in real life. You could say Episode 9 was ass backwards. Should have put it backwards, donkey. I'm just saying. Peter, you don't understand. I'm only 19. 19 is young. I don't know this one. I'm not sure I want to. I'm 19-year-old and I've already wasted my entire life. Make me remember of this. I believe the idea is the juxtaposition of her asserting her youth and innocence while also having a mountain of sex toys, explicit posters, and tons of people, presumably men, in her DMs. When it comes to doing adult things, she's an adult. When it comes to taking responsibility like an adult, she's just a child. That's my read on it. But why not just say innocent instead of young? Because 19 is young. Because the original meme this was edited from used the word young and was about a 29-year-old Discord mod. Alright then.
Someone explain this. No, I don't think it's unfair. I just gotta work hard and someday I'm gonna own my own pyramid. Hey, Meg here. The joke is that the people pushing the stone are at the bottom of the pay grade. Even the whip guy would be pretty much not that rich. In truth, only the very wealthy got pyramids, and poor people were just buried underground with some of their possessions. This relates to the current state of the world and the denial that a lot of people have towards realizing they will never be able to afford the millionaire lifestyle. Or something political, I don't know, eat the rich. Meg out. Shut up, Meg. What does this mean and what is the joke? We should improve society somewhat, yet you participate in society. Curious, I am very intelligent. This comic is missing 3 panels which make it a bit more clear. What? How have I never known this? Apple AirPods cost $159, but they can't pay taxes or decent wages to their Chinese factory workers. Post. You said on an iPhone. Heh. Gotcha. Cars should have seatbelts, yet you bought one. Hypocrite much? Owned. We should improve society somewhat, yet you participate in society. Curious, I am very intelligent. I don't understand the image of the women. You ladies ready to have a Gouda time? In unison. Yes, Mr. Cheddar. Great. First stop, the Cheesecake Factory. Not dirty here. This might just be funny because of Mr. Cheddar's dad jokes. That being said, the women depicted also kind of look like e-girls or goth girls and are happy to be hanging out with Mr. Cheddar, which adds some comedic effect because you wouldn't expect it. Who the hell wouldn't be jacked as kicking with Mr. Cheddar? That's what I'm saying. Why shouldn't white people be doing this? Your rap name is Lil, plus the last reason you were in the hospital. Don't think white people should be doing this. Because rap culture is considered part of African American culture, meaning she thinks white people can enjoy or take part in such things. Not OP, but thanks for the explanation, greased up deaf guy. That's Lil hearing aids to you, bud. Can Peter explain this, please? Boys with the time machine, I'm your grandson. Wow! Girls with the time machine, do not agree to be in The Shining. Okay. Lois, the woman in the bottom right, is Shelley Duvall, who played Wendy Torrance in The Shining. She apparently went through large amounts of mental and emotional trauma and torment when filming the movie. Stanley Kubrick did this on purpose to make her fear and dread more realistic in the movie. She was isolated, Kubrick was, quote, unusually cruel and abusive to her, and most famously, the baseball bat scene was reshot so many times, it broke the world record for most retakes of one scene. It was reshot that many times specifically to make Shelley's acting and reaction more more upsetting and unnerving. All of this was at the expense of Shelley's long-term mental health, which is a shame because that movie is amazing, but that sucks. I'm lost on this one. Hey mom, what time was I born? Nope, stop talking to her. A question often asked by people who believe in astrology to determine your personality traits. One of the most brutal KOs I've ever seen on this site. Please know if you're someone who brings a book to the bar, nobody likes you. How much of your life, expressed as a percentage, have you spent gesturing for women to take out their earbuds? Jeremy dislikes the idea of someone going to a bar to do an activity alone. Reading a book implies they don't want to interact with others. Hat is saying the reason he dislikes the book readers is because he wants to bother women. I haven't seen the news. What does this mean? Iron lung reference. My brother in Christ, these are billionaires, not slaves. They did this to themselves. A deep-sea submersible recently went missing with very rich passengers. Who else could afford a recreational deep-sea trip? This meme is on 3 layers at this point. Layer 1, people joked about how this was like the horror video game Iron Lung, where you pilot a submersible. The second layer soyjacks those people. This real-life tragedy is just like my video game. The third layer mocks the second layer for being uptight, saying it's not much of a tragedy because the victims were super rich and knew the risks beforehand. And as we all know, if you're rich, you deserve to die. Peter, what happened? That moment when you realize Oprah didn't bring you here for a new car. You can get the vibe in this image by all of their faces. Oprah looking at Weinstein for approval as she more or less offers the girl to him like a sacrifice. The way she looks is like, is this girl good enough for you, Mr. Weinstein? Pure evil. I cannot wait for this guy to rot in a jail cell. I'm not paying for that. Student loans. Social Security. Boomer says he won't pay for student loans despite the fact that the younger folks are the ones who pay into Social Security, which in turn supports boomers in retirement. Edit, I explained the joke. I did not cast an endorsement of the artist or the message. I'm not even sure why people would get that idea from what I wrote because people on the internet are stupid. Why is it bad for retail workers? No, I work retail, please, God, no, 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 no. Shawn Mendes is coming. The singer wiped his social media layout after tweeting the title, Wonder, to fans online. Peter here. Big boxes of corporations and stores will generally have a playlist or set of music on repeat throughout business hours. If you work on the sales floor or anywhere in the building, it is like auditory torture listening to the same stuff over and over and over. Shawn Mendes is a popular mainstream artist with mass appeal, and the person is dreading the thought of having to listen to him on repeat. Yeah, you step into a Hobby Lobby and you immediately feel bad for those employees because they have to listen to funeral music all day. Peter, why is it bad news she's made a younger friend? Why is my mom telling me that this 28-year-old girl is obsessed with her at work? She is like, I'm 60, why she want to be my best friend? Mom, I have bad news. That's her work, mom. POV, me in hell after giving an orphan a calendar with only 363 days in the year. 365 days in a normal year, they took out Mother and Father's Day. PETA, I don't get it. Mr. Shapiro, you have milk in your refrigerator, but I see no cows in your field. You are hiding Abigail Shapiro under the floorboards, are you not? This is a reference to people hiding Jews under the floorboards in Germany. The officer is able to deduce that Ben is hiding his sister under the floorboards because they have milk in the fridge but no cows, which means he is milking his sister's, Abigail Shapiro's, famously large breasts. I regret that I read the explanation, and I wish I didn't have to read it out loud. Try to impeach this. The two shallow and wide glasses hold the same amount of liquid. The next panels you see the transfer of liquid to the taller thin glass. The volume and quantity of the liquid remains the same. The third panel, the child points to the taller glass. The comic is pointing out that although the red map covers more land than blue, it does not accurately convey the number of voters because the blue districts hold the same or more of the population due to population density. PETA, why is the father traumatized? Wait, isn't your dad home? It's okay, he won't do anything. He never does. My dad's a griller. Centrists, or people that don't participate in politics, are often viewed as grillers. They just want to take a load off and not worry about the chaos. Daughter is saying the boyfriend doesn't have to worry about her dad taking a stand to them because he doesn't stand for anything, basically. All the media says is racism, shootings, socialism, KKK. I just want to grill for God's sake. Amen, brother. PETA, what does the Japanese mean? Just learned Japanese Splatoon players abbreviate League Battle, and I can't stop laughing. What's this? I don't know. The Japanese translation for League Battle is literally League Match, and a common way of abbreviating things in Japanese is by smashing the first few syllables, which in this case results in something that sounds a bit like Ligma. When the second tweeter asks what Ligma is, the trap springs shut and the first person replies with the common joke, Ligma balls. This post takes both wisdom and stupidity to understand. My friend sent me this and I have no idea why the it's supposed to be funny. Following your recent eye test, we are writing to confirm your next appointment, which is at 12:45 p.m. Tuesday, 1st of March. It's big, because they have bad eyesight. The text is big because their eyes are bad. Well, I'm glad this text is also big, or else I wouldn't have been able to read it. Do bicycles not exist in America? In America, they do not let you ride bicycles. If you are caught riding one, you are immediately executed by Ford F-150. Basically, she's a North Korean escapee who appeared on Joe Rogan Experience. She would say things like, in North Korea, you couldn't take a in a bathroom, you had to use the poop wall, or something starting with in North Korea or in America. Here they are using it to satirically say that bicycles are outlawed in America. Thanks, Peter. He's a little off. She's this grifter who often gets attention by claiming America is more authoritarian and controlling than North Korea. Thanks, Lois. How does sex feel? Physically, for a penis, it feels like entering a hot tub and being hugged at the same time. Don't you mean for a cylinder? So I have to bear this cross forever. Hi, not Peter here. This is the same guy who got his cylinder stuck in an M&M bottle. Wait, an M&M? You mean an M&M tube? Like the you know what? Not even gonna say anything. How would you get a small cylinder, 5.1 inches in length, 4.5 inches girth, unstuck from a mini M&M's tube filled with butter and microwaved mashed banana? What, PETA? Why is this plane used in so many arguments? Fiction. No trans person passes. Survivorship bias. During World War II, the combatants were trying to figure out where best to armor. Since armoring aircraft added weight, they wanted to add it in the most effective spots possible. They looked at where planes got shot to figure out where to armor them, but then realized this only includes the planes that made it back, not the ones that never did. Perhaps it's better to armor the places that returning aircraft weren't struck, as the ones struck there obviously never made it back, or perhaps not, because of the bias. Getting a correct statistic to operate off of is very difficult. The joke here is that you only ever see the trans people that don't pass because you never notice the ones that pass. 2020. Flying insects down 60% since 2000. I actually did not know that. What the hell? That's pretty insane. What am I missing here, PETA? I yelled, "Good morning, officer," and he looked up, "You ain't fooling nobody." That is an undercover cop. You can tell because of the fact that he stands in a corner to survey the room and is dressed like a bad imitation of what a hip, cool gangsta youth would look like. There are other tells, but those are the two most obvious ones. Left-wing literature, 2013. Right-wing literature, 2023. Hi, PETA Potter here to explain the joke. Everyone whose age is 12 and older knows that the Harry Potter series deals with magic and eugenics. When the series first came out, it was vilified by fundamentalists Christians, mostly right-wingers, for glorifying and promoting witchcraft. Naturally, the kids in the alternative crowd who had left-wing views thought the world of Harry Potter was a safe space for their fascination with wand-waving and British people, both of which are pretty gay. However, that all changed when J.K. Rowling, the creator of the series, made a controversial tweet, or zeet, point and wink, about her feelings on trans people. The fandom quickly fell apart after this, resulting in most of the fandom in canceling Rowling by giving her the Avada Kedavra treatment. Ironically, the same right-wingers who once called for her books to be banned and burned are now Rowling's biggest supports, kind of like when the racists left the Democratic Party after LBJ thought black people were cool. The joke here is that Harry Potter went from being loved by witchy girls to far-right extremists after one tweet, or zeet, point and wink. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've just been sorted into Slytherin House and feel the urge to make fun of some mudbloods. Roadhouse. A black guy asked me out today, which means I need to hit the gym, huh? The joke is referencing a stereotype that black men like fat women. Fat white women. PETA, I don't understand. Sitting blindfolded. Woman in lab coat feeds me a Twix. Left. She marks her notes. 329 consecutive correct guesses. Hey, Peter here. Don't listen to Retep. Twix had an ad campaign where some rappers said left on them and others said right, while in reality, they are both exactly the same. The real joke is that the man is insane and he thinks he's able to tell whether or not it's a left Twix or right Twix just by the taste. Edit, Peter again. I now realize that the man actually can tell the difference, but the government sent him to an institution as a cover-up so they can study this inhuman power. Sorry for the confusion. Who is the lady? It's easy to think of Italy as nothing more than spaghetti, garlic bread, and Parmesan cheese, but a quick look at their history reveals they invented fascism. Philomena Kunk, alias from Kunk on Earth. Bloody brilliant show, she is portrayed as someone who sees things for their face value and then makes fun of the people who have studied them for years. She's got a bit of a Karl Carl Pilkington vibe, where some of the idiocy has a ring of the profound to it. Can't tell if I'm missing context or that's just a post. I've been up all night trying to think of any possible way to de-escalate this war. Call Zelensky a pedophile and ship him a submarine he didn't ask for. That's what he did to the group in Thailand that was trying to free the kids trapped in a cave. There was a group trying to get them out, and when they rejected a tiny submarine that Elon offered them, he called them pedophiles and shipped them the sub anyway. Very weird situation, but thankfully they got the kids out safely, not using the sub.